On today's show, Nissan teases a new plug-in vehicle that we're going to see in Tokyo later this month. The Netherlands announces plans to ban all internal combustion engine vehicles from its roads from 2030, and the world's largest floating wind farm goes live in Scotland. These stories and more coming up next. This is Ecotricity's ecoTEC roundup show from New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company. We're 100% Kiwi and 49% community owned. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Hi there, I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, a professional musician turned electric vehicle crusader, and I'm here to bring Kiwis our weekly roundup of the biggest news stories around the world in relation to cleaner, greener transport. As always, thanks for joining me. With the Tokyo Motor Show just a week away, we're now starting to see automakers talk about some of the things we'll see there, and this week Nissan was dropping some pretty big hints in the form of a teaser video that suggests we're about to see the world debut of an all-new electric SUV. We'll have to wait and see, of course, just how close it is to being a production vehicle, but given Nissan's aim of bringing plenty of new electric models to market in the near future, I'm going to guess this is going to be a production achievable rather than a pipe dream concept car. When the Tesla Model 3 was originally introduced to us back in spring 2016, there were some questions as to just what access it would get to Tesla's supercharger network. And while Tesla confirmed pretty quickly that all Model 3s would get supercharger capability, it originally implied that customers would get free supercharging on long-distance trips, but not free supercharging close to their home, perhaps benefiting with the same supercharger credit of 400 kilowatt hours of free supercharging per year as the Model S and Model X. But now Tesla has confirmed that's not the case. Instead, if you buy a Tesla Model 3, you'll have to buy each and every supercharger credit you use. Sure, it's still cheaper than gas, but you won't be getting the free supercharger access that some of your cohorts in a Model S or a Model X will get. And since Model 3 isn't part of the referral program, there really are no free rides. Sorry. Next up, and I know I covered it in last week's show, I wanted to remind you about Ecotricity's new price plan called ecoWHOLESALE, a great new energy product that makes it easier to save your wallet and the planet. ecoWHOLESALE links you directly to our 100% renewable wholesaler prices with a small admin fee. In fact, it's now New Zealand's most affordable carboNZero certified electricity. There are no joining fees, no fixed-term contracts, just New Zealand's most affordable way to buy power, and it could save you a massive $400 on your home electricity bill in just a year, or $4,000 if you're a business. So clever Kiwis, switch to ecoWHOLESALE with Ecotricity. It's the cleanest and most affordable way to charge your home and your electric vehicle, and it only takes a couple of minutes to join ecoWHOLESALE, so just follow the link in the notes below. As I'm sure you're aware, Kiwis now have a new Prime Minister, after Jacinda Ardern became New Zealand's youngest ever PM, which is actually the same age as me, in yesterday's election. Heading a coalition government alongside New Zealand First, Ardern's Labour Party had promised to set a net zero emissions target for the nation by 2050, as well as commit to buying only electric vehicles for its government fleet, unless there was an absolutely exceptional circumstance not to. It's also promising to get behind a rapid switch to renewable energy for all Kiwi power generation needs, something I'm sure that will get the backing too of the Green Party, which, while a minority, has already stated its support for Labour's goals. Here's hoping that Prime Minister Ardern is able to steer the new coalition government on the right track to make New Zealand a cleaner, greener place to live. When it comes to countries embracing electric cars, there is perhaps none as eager as the People's Republic of China, a nation which, as figures released this week show, had a very good September indeed when it comes to plug-in vehicle sales. In total, more than 59,000 plug-ins were registered during the month, pushing the year-to-date count for plug-in vehicles to more than 338,000 cars. And if that doesn't convince you how big a plug-in market China is, the chairman of BAIC, maker of Chinese most popular EC series electric cars, says he expects China to have made its 1 millionth electric vehicle next year, with the 3 millionth vehicle coming shortly after in 2020. Times are changing, and if the US isn't careful, it's going to lose its EV-loving reputation to China in a pretty short period of time. In last week's show, you might remember me covering the rather disappointing ramp-up in Tesla Model 3 production, with Tesla failing to meet its expected goals for the affordable plug-in. Well, it appears that the delays were partly down to the suppliers that have failed to meet their supply contracts. At least that's the verdict of Oppenheimer and Co analysts, who told Fortune on Monday in a research note that while Tesla has now installed all Model 3 production equipment and vehicles are now moving through the production line, delays by suppliers were partly to blame for the slower than expected startup for the car. It's a familiar story that Tesla suffered with Model X too, so don't be too surprised if we see some court cases down the road, as we did with Model X. Watch this space. I'm sure in recent months we've all read stories about various cities and countries around the world announcing their intent to ban the sale of all new internal combustion engine vehicles sometime in the next 2 to 3 decades. But this week, the Netherlands went one step further, announcing its intent to ban all internal combustion engine vehicles from its roads in just 12 years' time. Yep, that's right. Not content with just banning the sale of all new internal combustion engine cars from 2025 onwards, the nation will enforce a law prohibiting the use of internal combustion engines on its roads from 2030 onwards, a move which I'm sure will cause quite a stir among petrolheads. Still, given the Netherlands is mostly built on land below sea level, it has a fair bit to lose from global warming, right? While Nissan might be readying itself to unveil a new electric vehicle in Tokyo, its fellow Japanese automaker Toyota is readying itself to unveil some more concepts too, with a promise to bring a level 5 electric vehicle that interacts with passengers using speech recognition to testing by 2020. But while Toyota is certainly looking more towards electric vehicles than it has in the past, it will also unveil 2 new hydrogen fuel cell concepts in Tokyo: the Fine Comfort Ride FCV, a futuristic vehicle which will likely never make it into production, and a concept fuel cell bus which Toyota says will enter into production next year. It's unclear just how much the latter will cost, but given its large size and need for massive fuel cells, I think it's fair to say it won't be cheap. As those watching for the past few years will know, Pikes Peak International Hill Climb has become something of a proving ground for electric vehicle technology, with electric cars getting faster and faster and more competitive every year, beating internal combustion engine competitors and genuinely showing that electric is the way forwards. Well, early on Thursday morning, Volkswagen announced it's coming back to Pikes Peak after a long break, and you've guessed it, it will be bringing a custom-built, all-electric, single-seat race car to do it. Sadly, we don't have much to go on other than this picture, but Volkswagen says it will be a powerful, competitive all-wheel drive vehicle. We've only got another 9 months to wait and find out what it looks like on the track. And finally, as I'm sure you all know, plug-in vehicles are only as clean as the power used to create the electricity that they rely on to move. So on this channel, we're always super excited to hear about new energy generation projects going online. And this week, the world's first ever floating wind farm was officially switched on by Nicola Sturgeon, First Minister of Scotland. Located some 25 kilometres off the Scottish coast, the 30 megawatt wind farm is the first of its type, thanks to a new design that allows it to operate in water depths of up to 800 metres. That's about 2,600 feet. Capable of powering 20,000 homes, it's going to play an important part in greening up Europe's grid, so well done to all involved. And with that, it's time for me to bring another episode to a close. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Tell your friends about the show, and if you've got some feedback, be sure to send it our way. As always, I'll be back soon with more eco-tech goodness, so make sure you hit that notification bell to find out the minute a new show is uploaded. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend, make sure you do something fun, and help keep those wind turbines spinning by switching to New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company. That's it. Thanks for joining me. Ka kite. See you next time.